All right, good evening again from Athenian Baseball Field. We're ready now for the consolation game, and first hitter steps in as Will Kellerman delivers. Christian Lopez, your hitter. You do better. I might. Here's the next pitch, down and in, so 2 balls, no strikes. Here's a strike called by home plate umpire Mark Maxwell. Here's a 2-1. Swung on and missed. Athenians playing the Hot Dogs from Frankfort, who are 2-0 in the Sagamore Conference, defeating Danville 2 times last week. Swung on a miss, strike 3, and Lopez goes down.
Number 13, Casey Henry.
That'll bring up Casey Henry. He's the center fielder. Yeah. Swung on, fouled back. A little bit of a surprise in the conference, really. I think people going in thought that maybe Danville, one of the favorite teams to win the conference this year, Mike, and lo and behold, they're 0-2 as the Hot Dogs put it on them twice. Here's a ground ball knocked down by Will Kellerman. Lots of time now. Gets it on to first base. In the glove. Sammy's got it, and that's 2 down. So good job by Will Kellerman retiring the first 2 batters. Brings up Valdez Sandoval, the pitcher for the Hot Dogs today. Here's the pitch, down and in. This one rides outside, so 2 balls, no strikes. A little late getting on here. We chasing coaches down as we made a very quick change between games. Here's a ball foul off the right side. The Hot Dogs losing their game to the Fleischers from Franklin Central by a score of 14. Did they finally get one there, Mike? And
yes,
so
14-1.
Right. So we here's a strike on the outside corner. Count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So after a good early part of the week, this Saturday, the end of the week, not so good for the Hot Dogs after the first game today. Here's a high hopper to third, on to first base, and they just nip him. Good job over there by Kate Fitzwater, retiring batter number 3 for the Hot Dogs here in the top of the first. Athenians coming to bat. Well, the Athenians, in case anyone didn't catch us on game number 1, the Athenians had a ball game in which we just gave up a lot of runs and had probably too many errors and gave up 13 hits in the ball game, and we really didn't play that bad from an offensive standpoint, even though we only tallied the 3 runs, losing by a final score of 11-3, but still 10 hits in the ball game is pretty good offensive output. But, yeah, those 5 errors matched the 5 errors that we had Thursday against Tri-West. So, obviously, a concern for the coaches and really feeling around early season with a young ball club. And, you know, who's to know exactly where we end up with all the positioning and everything. But still good young ball players. We know that for sure. And this ball club is going to win a lot of games. We really looked at the conference thing, and you know, there's 4 teams 1-1 right now. The Athenians being one of them, with Lebanon and this Frankfort team being at the top of the heap, both 2-0. So very early, too hard to really know what's going on. Our other 2 county counterparts, both 1-1 also. So
It's starting out to be tight, and it could be that way for a while.
I'm not so sure it could be that way all the way down to the end. Yeah.
I think you're
right.
All
right, here we go. Bottom of the first, and Josh Blackburn stepping in. Here's a pitch, ball one. Valdi Sandoval, the pitcher. Don't know what year he is. I probably could look that up here just a second. He appears to be a junior. That one's in there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike now. That one's outside. What we mentioned earlier, just talking with ourselves up here, Mike, we were the one. Remember playing another conference team in this invitational, and so we got the lead runner on as there's ball 4, and Josh Blackburn trots on down to first base, and that'll bring up Carson Scott, our second baseman.
Yeah, between us, we've seen a lot of these invitational games, and neither one of us can remember seeing a conference team and playing one.
Well, the diamond looks like it's dried out a lot from what we started this morning, Mike. Of course, when we started and came out here early in the day, one would have doubted that ever being any kind of a ball being played. But right now, I think the field is in pretty great shape.
It looks good. Looks real good.
Here's a pitch, and this was taken inside, ball 1. Carson Scott batting left-handed for the first time today as he faced all left-handed pitchers in game 1 today. Here's a pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man on. Josh Blackburn leads away first base. He's going, here's a line drive, great line drive, right in a perfect spot, and then Josh falls down rounding second. I believe he had third base made as we had the hit and run on, and Blackburn took the ball right in the vacated hole at shortstop. Perfect hit and run, but we kind of lost our wheels out there a little bit. Nonetheless, runners at first and second, and nobody out. So I bring up Will Kellerman. Will been swinging a good bat. Will was 1 for 4 in game 1 today. Carson Scott, who just got a base hit, also was 1 for 4. And 1 for 3 was Josh Blackburn. Here's the first pitch in there to Will for a strike. Sometimes Coach Froge goes ahead and bunts early in the ball game, and Will's been swinging so well, I think he wants to turn him loose here. Ball fouled out of play, so Will down on the count. No balls, 2 strikes. That ball outside. 1 and 2. The sun pops out a little bit brighter. Haven't seen a whole lot of sun today, really, but it's been a little bit in and out this afternoon. Here's a swing and a miss. And Will, the second time today, strikes out with the runner occupying first base in less than 2 outs. But his instincts are to take off, and that's okay with me.
Yeah.
I actually have seen a ball game or two lost by a catcher throwing the ball to first base on a guy that's already out and throws it down the first base line. Here's a pitch down. Austin Warren actually in the DH slot here, Mike, for the first time, I think, and played left field game 1 today. Here's the ball that gets loose, and a good job base running as both runners pick it up quickly and on down to second and third now. So good scoring situation here. Austin needs to put the ball in play. He's ahead on the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Athenian faithful fouling back in. Here's a pitch, and this is taken outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 3 balls, no strikes. 3-0. Coach Froge runs him through, and shall we say he just put a take signal on? Unless he changed the take signal. He's taking all the way. Austin kind of wound up like he was going to take a big swing there, but we all knew he was just watching. 3 balls, 1 strike now. Number 34, Austin Warren. Here's the pitch. He swings. 1 hopper to shortstop. We got caught here. Our runner at third did not go. The runner, and we're going to be tagged out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We had 2 men occupying third base. The base is given to the first man who occupies it when they're on there like that. So, in effect, then we have Scott being called out. So, there's 2 down. So, we didn't have our heads together on that one. You know what? If you read it right, we really should have been able to score from third on that because it was really slow hit.
And he took off, and then he stopped.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure.
I mean, I know the ball left in the air a little bit, but it should have been evident it could not have been caught in the air. But anyway, we are on first and third with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Now the umpires are going to question something, but they're not going to. They're not going to let any of the rest of us in on it.
Yeah, the coach went out and he said something to the field umpire, and he came in and checked with Maxie on a question, and it looks like everything's going to stand as is.
Okay, so 2 down, and that brings up the catcher, Owen Bennett. Owen earlier in the day came up with 1 base hit, and really. Let me double check that. I can't read my own writing. He actually had 2, Mike. I believe that's
my writing.
That's your writing. Oh, all right. That's right. That's right. I think
I can read it for you.
I started to do it, but then I wisely passed it over to you. That's right.
That's a hit.
Yeah. Credit Owen with 2 hits today. Here we're going to go now, and ball in the dirt. It was just. Pickup steal by the runner there because we didn't have – sometimes we'll run that first and third, but with 2 outs, I don't think we were automatically going to try to take the base. All right, here's the pitch. Swung on a ground ball left side. It's in the hole. We're going to score 2 on this one, I think. It's quick to the left fielder, and Coach Froge wisely holds him up. A good throw at him. Let's put it that way. Good throw at him. But the Athenians dent the home plate here in the bottom half of the first inning and lead it by a score of 1-0. So 2 down, 1 run in, 2 runners on base, and Cam Saunders to the plate. And Cam today had a double and a single, so he was 2 for 3 on the day.
Cameron Saunders.
We have Andrew Martin running for Owen Bennett, courtesy runner.
Here's a long fly ball. He's not going to catch that one. That ball is going all the way to the fence out there. Runs 2 and 3, will cross the plate, and into third base is Cam Saunders with a stand-up triple. So Cam getting that one on the sweet spot. Center fielder did a good job, did all he could do to get to the ball, but that ball was out there somewhere around 355 feet, I think, when it hit the ground.
Yes,
and about maybe 1 hop and a little roll to the fence, but he had a lot of bet on that one. So Athenians up 3-0 here.
And that'll bring up the shortstop, Cale McCarty.
Yeah, Cale, I thought he had a good day at the bat. He was 1 for 3, but put the ball in play all 3 times. And that's, if we can just cut our strikeouts down a little bit. We had more, I think we've had more strikeouts down south maybe than we've had since we come up north per game, you know.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we did that.
So runner on third base now with 2 down. Cale standing in. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, and he was taking a big cut there. Ball might have been down a little bit.
A little bit. He was on top of it.
Here's the next pitch, and that one's down. He lets that one go. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. That's taken down. 2-1. Cale McCarty, sophomore shortstop. He's started shortstop every ball game. Here's the pitch on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I think Cale's got all the tools to really, in the next couple of years, we're going to see a real outstanding shortstop. Here's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. A little bit off the corner, but pulling off the pitch, as often happens when you get a breaking ball outside. So 3 down now for the Athenians, but in the inning, they come up with 3 runs on 3 hits and leave a runner on base. So Athenians off to a much better start here in the consolation game.
Yes, that was a much better start. Much better start. 3 up, 3 down, and come up and score 3 runs. You know, that's what we like to see. Get these kids some confidence.
Well, this might turn out to be a real good evening if we can keep this sun going and everything, you know. I think that, what do we say? We started today with 18-mile-an-hour wind, right. And the wind direction hadn't changed too much. It's still basically been out of the south all day long. I think that the temperature was 66 degrees when we started today. I think we're pretty close to the same thing right now.
Leading off the second will be Jack Espinoza, followed by Brandon Compton and Hernandez.
Will delivers, and that one's a little bit tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the second, Athenians leading by a score of 3-0. Here's the next pitch. Ball 2. We were looking at that like it was pretty good, Mike.
Must have been low.
Yeah.
I don't know where else it could have been.
Yeah. 2-0. His swung on, and that appeared to be up, but he was looking at it and liking it, so fouls it off to the right side, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Number 9, Jack Espinoza takes ball 3. 1-2-3 in the first inning for Will. This is a cleanup hitter. Here's a pitch. Swung on, grounded left side. Fitzwater over, has it on to first base. He's on the money, and 1 down. A lot of soft hops today, Mike, in that infield. It's still soft. We did in game 1 today did see some slips out there, both infield and outfield. Okay. Compton takes that. He's a first baseman.
Yes, he's a first baseman, Brandon Compton.
Brandon Compton is, I think is he one of their seniors? Let's see. I have forgotten what I looked at. No, he's only a sophomore. Brandon Compton, a sophomore, playing first base today. Will to the plate, and that one is off the corner. So that goes to 3-0 now. Next one's in there for a strike. Top of the strike zone. This one's outside, so a 1-out walk. Compton on down to first base.
Number 15, Hernandez.
Yeah.
Third baseman.
We don't give his first inning, but he's not listed on the roster. Here's the ball gets loose as we throw over there and gets past Sammy at first base. So runner on down to second base with one down. Well, just checking the temperature here, Mike. It's almost the same as we started today, 67 degrees. And we're liking that sun that we're seeing, though. The wind down quite a bit, showing now at 9 miles an hour. Still out of the southeast. So Will's
Will wants to talk
wants a little conference there. Long pause by Will, and then he turns and just fakes the throw to second base. None of his middle infielders were interested. We did have a pickoff in game one today that didn't work out so well, Mike. We sure had the guy cold. Here's a strike.
Yeah, we kind of let that one get away from us.
There's a pitch. Ground ball back to Will. He's got to run. That's a wise choice. Get your – okay, his throw.
Yeah. Made it interesting.
You know, I always remember that play back many years ago when I was coaching Legion ball. Had the same play later in the ball game where we were ahead, and my pitcher made the wrong choice, tried to make the play at third base, threw the ball away, and so they scored a run. The guy went from on down to second base and kind of changed the ball game when he had an easy out for the second out at first base. So that's one of those deals where you just got to think what the situation. Here's Omar Atlantis at the plate, and he swings and misses. And Omar is one of the seniors. He's the catcher for the Hot Dogs. Here's a pitch swung on and missed. Something down there, and Atlantis liking it, but kind of hard to get to it. So Will ahead here. It should be pitcher's pitch here all the way, and this one's away. Runner on third down with two down, and Will working ahead on the count here at 1-2. There's a pitch swung on and fouled back. Just barely got a piece of that one. That left-handed fastball running away from the right-handed hitter. Here's one that's way outside. That ball started outside and just kept going further outside. Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And, would you believe it, it's the top of the second. Here's a pitch down. Good job. Owen Bennett keeping that ball right there. All right, here's a pitch that needs to find something around the plate. Breaking ball chopped down the third base line. Will's over quickly. The throw. And we come up with it over there. Good job. Sammy down there digging that ball out. And that retires the Hot Dogs here in the top half of the first inning. So that may be a first for Sammy Riddle, digging it out at first base.
Yes, I think it is.
Sammy by position is a catcher, we need to note, but not all that unusual to have a catcher rotate to first base. You know, we see that quite a bit. So after 1.5, the Athenians lead it by a score 3-0. Well, we might mention, we'll try to mention it again a time or two, but, you know, the Athenians are going to be in action again next Tuesday, and that's a home game, so it will be webcast, and it's a 6 o'clock start. So, you know, if we get everything going in rhythm, somewhere between 5 till and 10 till, probably be coming on, and hopefully Tuesday's, right now, I think Tuesday weather-wise is not too bad a day.
I think it's supposed to be all
begin to turn a little better as we get into the week. So hopefully we'll get that game in.
Yeah, we got We got the Stars coming in, won't we, from Western Boone?
Yeah, Western Boone had a tough start last week. Lost 2 to Lebanon, and really, I don't think they were in either game, really, very long.
No.
And
okay, we've got 8, 9, and 1. Jake Decker, followed by Cade Fitzwater, and the top of the order, Josh Blackburn.
Right fielder, number 6, Jake Decker.
all right, Jake steps in. Jake in the ball game was 1 for 2, game 1. He had a single his first at bat and struck out his second time. First pitch is called a strike. Next one sails outside. The count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keller, Dubois, and Haas, your officials. Well, Jake had a big swing on that one. Couldn't find any part of the baseball, so he's down on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball's away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sandoval to the plate. That's a breaking ball away, and the count goes full. Athenians with 3 in the bottom of the first. Here's the ball hit toward center field. Center fielder's in, but that's going to drop, and so Jake Decker leads it off here in the bottom half of the second with a base hit. That'll bring up the third baseman, Cade Fitzwater.
Third baseman, Cade Fitzwater.
Cade squares a fifth bunt, and that pitch is high, and he wisely lets it go by. Cade 0 for 2, but well, no, he's 0 for 1. Pardon me. He was on an error, but the error was off of a sacrifice bunt situation. So he's 0 for 1, and he got on base and went around to score. One of the 3 Athenian runs in game 1 today. Count 2 balls, no strikes. Here's a pitch, and this one he starts to offer at, pulls it back, and it's called a strike on the outside corner. Good job. Pitch comes in. Cade looking to bunt the ball, but pulls the bat back as that one is at least chin high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Runner at first with nobody out. Here's a pitch. This is taken down low, so nice job. I tell you what, a lot of kids, and you know this, Mike, they're just not going to let that many pass.
No.
They see that bunt signal, and I got a bunt, you know, and they offer bad pitches and pop them up and foul them off, and that's just being willing to take what the other guy's trying to give you.
Exactly, yes.
So we've got a good situation as we turn it over to the top of the batting order with Josh Blackburn, who drew a base on balls his first time at bat, came around to score. So top of the order, runners at first and second, and nobody down. Sandoval to the plate. Blackburn. Now there's a case. What we're talking about. He didn't pull the bat out of the way, but he got hit on the hand, and he's down to first base. Hopefully, no harm there. Josh is a tough young guy. Now we're going to have a conference.
Yeah.
There's a question. I had a question myself. That's why I held up there. But
that's why I wrote it down here.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but what it didn't hit the bat. Yeah, they're going to bring him back. Yeah. I thought from my vantage point it hit the bat, and see, that's a bat that should have been pulled out of the way, just like his predecessor did.
Yeah,
but
right.
Too anxious to get the bunt down. So, learning situation there. But Josh, I'll tell you, he did a good baseball acting job.
Yes, he did.
You know, I mean, we can't give him an Emmy because he didn't succeed. But
Right.
nonetheless, he did okay trying to do what he was called to do there. Coach Roach having a little talk with him there. Yeah, Josh, a gutsy young man. Going to enjoy him playing this year and next year, and he's just going to do nothing to get better. But he's already been a fine outfielder, and he's getting better, I think, all the time at the plate. Leading off and has done a good job. Unfortunately, we don't have any batting average today, Mike, we can't do that. Here's a pitch bunted, fair ball, nice bunt. First base side, pitcher Sandoval gets it to first base for the out, but Blackburn does his job, moving the runners up, second and third now, and that'll allow Scott coming to the plate to
The second baseman.
drive in a couple of runs with a base hit. Carson had a base hit his first time. Sandoval ready to go. Here's a pitch, swung on, fouled off left side. That'll be out of play. And, well, that went out of the ballpark, but bounced right back in. Probably one of those balls in the majors would be thrown out and never to be played with again. Here's the pitch. Here's the ball, gets loose. Nice job at third base. He's going to be in there under the tag. I'll tell you what, he had a great read on that. Really, really aggressive. And so Decker scores run number 4 for the Athenians. I tell you, if he hesitates a little bit and then goes, he's out. But he had a great read on that. Catcher made a good play, getting the ball quickly, and made a pretty good throw to the plate. Pitcher was in there, position to cover, but nonetheless, Athenians score. Here's a pitch taken outside by Carson Scott. 2 balls, 1 strike, runner at third with 1 out. That one's down, 3-1 now. Hot Dog's having a long day here now. I'm beginning to look that way, coming off that big loss to Franklin Central. Here's a pitch. That's up. Ball 4. So I'll bring up Will Kellerman. Will struck out his first time. But as we said, Will with a couple of hits in game 1 today. Catcher calling for coach. I don't know. Looks like we got a conference going. So head coach Andy Dudley heeds the catcher's call. I don't know what's going on with Sandoval, but it looks like he's done.
He's giving the ball.
Give him the ball up. Yes, sir. So I don't know. He's
we're going to have a pitching change.
He's off the hill. It looks like the pitcher is out there on the field, but we just don't know which one it's going to be.
Yeah. How about the third baseman, Hernandez? I think that's who we're going to pick.
Yeah, well, this is a young man we don't have a book on. So we don't know whether he's a freshman or a senior. And
so we'll just say right now he's
a
pitcher.
See, he definitely. And see which one moves over to third. I think maybe since it looks like Sandoval is staying on the field. So
all stayed there. Nobody's
left. Think maybe he'll go to third base.
Now pitching for Frankfort, number 15, Luis Fernandez.
Luis. We just got a first name. Luis Sandoval.
Wonder where he got that name.
I don't know.
We didn't get it, did we?
Not Sandoval, pardon me. Luis Hernandez.
Hernandez, yes.
So after the conference on demand, they break it up, and we're ready to go now as Will's going to step back in.
Number 5, Jose Valdez Sandoval, third base.
So we set it up again with runners at first and third and one out. Your Athenians leading here in the bottom of the second by a score of 4-0. Well, step off. Luis Hernandez maybe didn't look like what he saw at first base. We had a good lead up, but not a great one. All right, there's a pitch up. Will takes for a ball. Coach Frode's running through the signals down at third base. Coach Welliver fairly calmly standing at first base with his arms crossed. Here's a stretch, and runner goes, and here's a throw to second base. Runner fakes going to the plate from third, but wisely stays right there. And I would contest that Mr. Hernandez did not come to a pause on that pitch.
Right.
But here's a pitch down. 3 balls, no strikes. Will Kellerman patiently waiting at the plate. I know Will would like to be swinging here, but
I don't think he will.
I didn't check with Coach Frode. He might turn him loose here with the scoring situation here.
4-run lead, he could.
It's a pitch, and that's down. Ball 4, no choice made on that one. So base is packed now with Athenians. So Austin Warren comes to the plate. As we mentioned, Austin DHing this ball game.
Fitzwater on third, Scott on second, Kellerman on first. Cleanup hitter steps in the box.
Yeah, you can't have it set up any better, can you?
No, you can't.
All right, see if Austin takes advantage of this. And the pitch. That's right there for a strike. Outer part of the plate. Austin kind of likes to turn on the ball. He's more of a guy looking for something that he can pull. Here's the next pitch, and that one's in the dirt. The ball stays right there. One ball, one strike, one out. Here's where the young men got to remember, freeze on that line drive. That's the one mistake that really hurts you in this situation from an offensive standpoint. You hit the heck out of a ball, and you hit it right at somebody, and somebody gets too far off, and you're back in the field. Here's a ball taken to right field. Right fielder over to his left. He's got it. We're tagging. Here's a nice arm from the outfield, but the ball gets by the catcher. Nobody backing up there, so the Athenians are going to actually play 2 runs here. That's going to go, I don't know, Mike, you can give the error whoever you want to. Usually he's given on the throw, even though it looked like maybe the catcher should have kept the ball in front of him, which if he does that, the run doesn't score. But nonetheless, it goes as an error on the throw.
On the throw, going to Scott.
Catcher, Owen.
Give it to the catcher.
Okay, that'll bring up the Athenian catcher, Owen Bennett. First time up, Owen, I believe, maybe he got a base hit there, Mike.
Yes, he did, and scored.
And come around, score, yeah. First pitch to him is a strike. So we got a 6-0 lead as the Athenians have again played at 3 runs here in the second inning. 2 outs with a runner out at second base. Here's a 1-strike pitch, swung on pop foul and out of play. So Owen down on the count. No balls, 2 strikes. And as a gentlemanly gesture, one catcher to the other, Owen picks up the mask, hands it to the opposing catcher. Alanus. And now we have another pause. I'm not sure which situation to call it. We have a conference between Coach Froge, but we all and Bennett, but the Frankfort Battery having another conference also. This game moving a little bit slow, Michael, right now.
Isn't it? Yes, it is.
But in favor of the Athenians, so we'll go for it. Here's the pitch taken down, and this one gets away from the catcher. No play now. Goes a wild pitch. That ball was in the dirt. Alanus tried to keep it in front, but it kicked out to the side far enough, and good read there by Will, easily down to third. Now timeout by the catcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Owen Bennett waiting. Here's a pitch. This is outside. Count evens, 2-2. Here's the pitch. One, a fly ball. Left center field. The left fielder over, in, and has it for out number 3. So Bennett flies out to end the bottom of the second for the Athenians. But once again, Crawfordsville picks up 3 more runs, and it's a 6-0 ball game. At the end of 2 full, for the Hot Dogs, is no runs on no hits and 1 error. For your Athenians, 6 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. We might mention anyone interested. We're going to have a championship ball game out here. We are not going to be webcasting, but somebody. It's still going to be a nice evening, even if it gets a little dark, But the Franklin Central Flashes are going to be playing the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. So we have that yet to come this evening. We can go ahead again and say that the Athenians are in action next Tuesday, right here, 6 o'clock start. Somewhere before that 6 o'clock time, we hope to be webcasting your Athenian baseball. Athenians 1-1 in the Sagamore Conference, and now overall 5-3.
Looks like we have a pitching change, Dan.
We do indeed.
Jake Decker's taking the mound now.
Jake is back out, second time today.
Yes.
So right field means Will Kellerman, and so it's just, I think that's the only thing, just that switch between those two.
I was just checking that. Yeah, that's it. Jake and Will made a switch. And we've got 8, 9, and 1 coming up.
Okay, there's a throw down, and Owen got that one just a little bit high.
Roger Angeles will lead off the.
Yeah, he's a catcher, and he is the shortstop. Pardon.
For Frankfort. The shortstop number 16.
And
Angeles.
first time at bat in this ball game.
Yes.
Pitch right there for a strike. Well, we've got fans really occupying all the stands. We've got actually, if you look at it, here's a breaking ball that must have been just a little low in the count evens at 1-1. We've actually got 5 areas for fans to be seated in, and albeit there's only 2 in the right field bleachers down there, but
that's still
somebody's in all of them, and faithful Athenian fans, as always, show up in good numbers. There's the ball, so it's 2 balls, 1 strike. This one's going to be high and 3-1. So Jake needs to find the strike zone here. but that won't do it. And so the leadoff man walks. That brings up the second baseman, Ayers.
Jade Ayers, yes.
Pretty good lead there at first base.
Yeah.
Well, you expect the shortstop to have pretty good wheels. Here's a fake bunt, and really, if Bennett's able to catch and turn and throw, we might have had a play right there.
He was quite a ways off there, yes. I think Coach wanted him to get that down the way it looks at him, the way they're talking to him. Wanted to get that bunt down.
Number 9 hitter. Here's a pitch, ball. So 2 balls, no strikes. Nobody out here. Top of the third inning. There's a strike. Coach Dudley runs through the signals. Wouldn't think much would be on. Here's a pitch, wild pitch into the dirt and gets by Bennett. So on down to second goes Angeles, and so a early scoring threat here in the third inning. Here's another situation for your young infielders, Mike, that understand the runner on third really here's a swing and a miss is not a guy that we want to make a 50-50 play on,
right.
You know.
Nope.
Here's we want to get the easy out and play from ahead. Don't set up a situation. Here's the pitch. Swung on, pop foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Decker to the plate. This ball's popped up. It will be a play right here now as Owens under it. And he has it. Did a good job tracking the ball. And this is not a criticism, but you can see he's still a young catcher. See how nervous his feet were. But he did a good job staying with it, and he gets the out. And so with 1 down, that'll bring up the
leadoff hitter, Christian Lopez.
Christian, he's 0 for 1, struck out. Here's a pitch down and away. Lopez, a junior. That pitch is right there for a strike. I don't know. Did Lopez pitch game 1 for them today?
I don't know.
Here's a ball popped up into right center field. Looks like Josh is taking charge out there, and Blackburn hauls it in, makes a strong throw to third base, and so no thought of going to third by Angeles there. So 2 down now.
The center fielder, number 13, Casey Henry.
Casey Henry steps in, and he was out 1-3, pitcher to first in the first inning. Here's a ball. A nice breaking pitch, and I believe Mark had that right. That ball had quite a bit of movement on it. Had the batter ready to swing, but held up and 1 ball. This one's in the dirt. Here goes the runner, and Owen's going to have to let him go there. And again, there's a case where you don't want a pitcher or a catcher picking the ball up and making a late throw and then letting it get away and giving a run. That was no play, no throw. Yep. And you got 2 outs. So it's 2 balls and no strike with 2 outs. Here's a pitch. There's a breaking ball right there for a strike. Jake Decker on the mound here in the top of the third. Here's a breaking ball down and away. 3-1 now. Infield back all the way around. Here's the pitch. Out against. This one gets by. Might have to give a pass ball on that one, although it was kind of down, but it did not hit the dirt. And you missed it, Mike. Austin, frustrated, he threw that ball back, and Jake had a serious case of self-protection.
Oh.
He had plenty on it, and he wasn't that far away from it.
Uh-huh.
So the Hot Dogs get on the board there on that, what I'm going to call pass ball. But anyway, it's a 6-1 ball game. Runner on first base now with 2 outs. Here's a pitch, and that one's taken down by Sandoval. Sandoval was the starting pitcher in this ball game. He grounded out to third his first at bat. This one's taken for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit of command problem here this time for Jake, but got good movement on his ball. Here's down and away. He's got a lot of pitches going in that zone right there,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Down and away.
Down and away, yeah.
And some of them fastball, some of them his breaker, but got to move it over and get a few more strikes. Here's a 2-1. Breaking ball hit hard. Good job, Fitzwater, with no trouble. On the money with the throw. Good job of staying right in front of that one hopper and retires the batter. Sandoval for out number 3 here in the top of the third. But the Hot Dogs do come up with 1 run. They have 1 run on no hits and 1 Athenian error. And we go to the bottom of the half of the third inning with your Athenians leading it by a score of 6-1. Yeah, I ask because I'm pretty sure that Christian Lopez is our number 1 pitcher over there.
I know. I remember reading on Twitter or somewhere that he was a winning pitcher against Danville, so I know he does pitch. You're probably right.
Well, I believe it was his brother that was real good a couple of years ago, you know.
Yes,
And,
yes, very good.
And so they're kind of in the family deal.
Uh-huh.
Here, remember what I said? He didn't stop. Remember when I said he didn't stop on one of those pitches? Well,
that's what he did.
Du Bois just went out there and reminded him you need to pause.
Looks like we got 6, 7, and 8 coming up. The bottom of the third, Cam Saunders, Cale McCarty, and Jake Decker.
Yeah, Saunders with a big hit out of that group. So in this ball game,
Yes, big triple.
Leading off for your Athenians, the left fielder, number 24, Cameron Saunders.
all right, here we are ready to go. Hernandez to Saunders. Here's a pitch swung on, grounded up the middle. The shortstop will line this over and has it on to first base for out number 1. Well, again, we mentioned, you know, these Hot Dogs surprising a lot of people, taking 2 from Danville on Tuesday and Thursday, and so we really
The shortstop, Cale McCarty.
can't be too unhappy about the fact that we're so far kind of putting it on them here.
Yeah, right.
And, here's the pitch, inside corner, strike 1. Ball just barely getting inside part of the plate. So Cale 0 for 1 in this ball game, but had a hit in game number 1. This one maybe down in the zone, he swings and fouls back. So Cale McCarty down on the count 0-2. Third baseman in on the grass. Shortstop really playing pretty shallow, Mike.
Yes, he is. Yes, he's in. The short third's in.
Here's
on
the pitch,
ground.
and this was down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, I don't know, playing a little deeper, maybe right side space with the first baseman playing
He's
real deep.
real deep.
So I'm not
Strange.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, they can't have a book on us, so you know, I don't know where they're coming from there. But here's one that bounces up there, and the count evens at 2-2. Luis Hernandez, pitcher number 2 in this game for the Hot Dogs. Here's a pitch. That one's just missed. Might be almost in the area, too close to take, but we got away with it. And full count to Cale McCarty, Athenian shortstop. Here's one inside. So, whoa,
Called it.
Was that inside?
That was inside.
I mean, I'll be honest.
He moved.
I set a little bit low here, and the pipe in front of me kind of blocked my view, so it just looked like it was inside. But anyway, Cale took one that was probably too close to take, and then took another one that probably was a ball, but was too close to take.
I guess so.
So 2 down now. All right, here's the first pitch down to Jake Decker. Jake, now your pitcher for the Athenians. Came out of right field where he started the ball game. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and the count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. Athenians going to have to go to work here if they're going to play another 3 here in this 3rd inning. This one's down. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ball swung on, foul back. Just heard Coach Froge down here kind of turning to his dugout and saying, "Stay on it, guys." And I understand that exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, things are going pretty easy here, but it's early in the ball game. This ball game's not over. It's 6-1. It looks real good, but
3rd inning.
well, you know,
What can happen?
You've got to stay in the ball game and stay at the top of your game. Well, that was high, and so the count's full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. Angeli's over, puts the ball on the ground. Now he throws, and it's going to be late. As the safe call goes out from Darren Haas down there at first base. So that'll be an error, shortstop, and keep us alive here in the bottom of the 3rd. That'll bring up Cade Fitzwater. Cade with a base on balls his first at bat and came around to score. Here's the pitch, way up and away. Catcher reaches up and snags it before it gets to the backstop. Coach Froge doing a lot of coaching this inning, doing a lot of talk with the dugout. Here's the pitch, swung on. That's popped to the shortstop, and ought to be out number 3, and it is. So in the inning, there were no runs on no hits. There was 1 Frankfort error and 1 Athenian left on base. So at the end of 3 full, it's the Hot Dogs with 1 run on no hits, 2 errors. Your Athenians, 6 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. So as we mentioned earlier, the Athenians standing 1-1 in conference play. Right now, they're 5-3 overall, with the Western Boone Stars coming up conference-wise next week. But there's 4 teams in the conference after 1 week that are 1-1, and 3 of them are right here in Montgomery County. Teams at the top of the conference, Lebanon 2-0, and these Frankfort Hot Dogs 2-0. The bottom 2 teams in are Western Boone, who the Athenians play next week, and the Danville Warriors. So, again, as we said, it's really too early to read too much into that, I think, but still a little bit surprising with the double win, especially Frankfort over Danville. And really, the Southmont Mounties beating the Chargers for the first time since 2012.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I knew it was something like that.
Well, they've had some real close games, but Chargers really been on top of that thing for quite a while.
Okay, well, we got Jake Espinoza leading off, followed by Brandon Compton and Hernandez.
Okay, Espinoza steps in, playing right field. See, Espinoza first time up, grounded to third. Here's a pitch, swung on, popped up. That's going to be another play for Bennett behind the plate, and he brings that one in. Out number one. Good job there by Owen.
The first baseman.
Tell you, if you've never had that experience, Mike, trying to field that pop foul from the catching position back behind the plate, you would look, anyone who's never done it before would certainly look very awkward.
Yes.
It's not a terrible hard play once you've done it a few times, but until you've done it, something else. Brandon Compton stepping in here. 2 balls, no strikes. Compton with a base on balls, his first at bat. Got all the way around to third, but did not score. Here he takes a healthy swing and a miss. Next pitch, a line drive, and that'll be fouled down the left field line. Got the meat of the bat on the ball, but a little quick. So the count evens 2-2 now. Championship game to follow. We will not be webcasting the championship game, unfortunately, but that game will feature the Central Catholic Knights against the Franklin Central Flashes. Here's a pitch swung on, foul back, and it's a full count remains. Flags for the first time today, almost, well, not limp, but not moving much. Ground ball foul outside the third base line. Good job by Fitzwater getting over there and fielding that ball. I think I mentioned sometime earlier that Cade looked relaxed pitching.
Yes.
Earlier, game 1 today. And he looks pretty relaxed down there at third base. Here's ball 4, and Athenian fans thinking maybe that was pretty good for ball 4. But anyway, Hot Dogs with a runner at first down, 1 out. That brings up the pitcher, Hernandez. Throw over to first base. Boy, that's pretty close. Ball throwing right into that runner, and the tag was really made by the throw.
Yes, it was. Took it right to him.
Here's a pitch down. Again, a runner strays away, and really no play that time. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, the throw over, back in time. Jake Decker looking for a strike here. That was inside. Throw down by Bennett, runner back in time. He's drawn a lot of attention down there at first base, but got kind of slapped in the ear that time. Sammy says, pardon me. There's a pitch right there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ground ball left side. Over to second. Out on the first base. One hops it. Can't hold it clean. Might have, if he kept it in the glove clean, might have had a double play. It's going to be very close. Good job, though, Fitzwater taking his time, getting his body turned before he made that throw to second base. We're right on the money. And a little bit of a low throw there on the first. So the Hot Dogs stay alive here in the top half of the fourth inning. 2 down, though. 2 down, runner on first base. That brings up number 3, Omar Alanis. He is the catcher, one of the seniors on this Hot Dog Ball Club. Here's a pitch right there for a strike. Here's a ball taken to left field. That's going to get over our head out there as Cam chases it down. He's going to hit the relay man, so we're going to hold the runners to second and third there. So solid drive there by the little catcher. 2-base hit, and there's going to be a pinch runner come in there. 20. What do you got there, Mike?
Second base, number 29, Jimmy Osler.
That's it. Jimmy Osler. Which is not on a program, by the way.
Another one, huh?
Let's see. Maybe I don't think he's listed anywhere. Yes, he is. He's listed on the lineup card, so we do have him there. Okay. So second and third now. 2 down as the Hot Dogs have a 2-out rally going. Here's the shortstop, Alanis. That one, as you can see, is right over his head. So 1 ball, no strikes. Kind of an important spot in the game right here now is Hot Dogs' chance to kind of get back in it. Here's a swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch that time. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Here's a pitch, and that one's outside. Kind of a sweeping curveball by Jake Decker. Pitch. That one's up, and it's Alanis started to go, but the umpires both agree that he did not. So a 3-1 count now. So Jake once again needing a strike here. That one's right there at the knees. So full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball was right there. Let's see what he comes back with on this full count. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. Came back with a breaker there and had Alanis all strung out on that one. So in the top of the fourth for the Hot Dogs, they come up with no runs on 1 hit. They had 2 men left on base. Score remains 6-1. Your Athenians in the lead.
Yes, that hit by Alanis was their first hit of the game.
Yep.
And we are at the top of our order. Blackburn, Scott, and Kellerman coming up in the fourth.
Well, I don't know. I would imagine Coach wouldn't be totally, I say this, Coach probably would like to just go ahead and play 7, but he might not be too disappointed to go in 5,
Right.
If we could do a little add-on here.
Yeah.
But I have seen him in games like this where it's pretty apparent that we could get a 10-run margin. All of a sudden, we're playing a lot of players that are a little bit inexperienced, giving people a chance, which is good. I mean, I don't say that in a critical way. Just say it to say that there's more than one ways to look at a situation. And I'm not sure. If we go like we have been, I think we can get the 10-run margin. But we all know baseball is a funny game that way.
Yeah.
What looks like something that's just a coast kind of a situation, all of a sudden gets serious sometimes.
Okay, it can happen anytime.
Well, there's the throw down, and we're ready to go to play here in the bottom half of the fourth inning.
Lead off for your Athenians.
As Mike said, top of the order, Josh Blackburn. And Josh is 0 for 1 today. Walked his first time, came around and scored, and then had a sacrifice bunt. Did a nice job moving runners to second and third. All right, here's a pitch. This is taken down. Well, let's see. We may have had a take on there. Picked it up on the turn there. We'll see. Well, I don't think he's going to take that one.
No doubt about that one.
In fact, it hit him. In fact, it hit him. It's on down to first base. So Blackburn on base for the second time this evening. That'll bring up Carson Scott.
The second baseman, Carson Scott.
So Carson, he's 1 for 1 today. He had a base hit his first time, walked his second time, and came around to score. Carson getting a lot of work today from both sides of the plate in game 1 today, batting right-handed. Probably 4 plate appearances. I'm not remembering for sure, but I've got it here. Anyway, he going to bat left-handed all the time in this game. Yeah, 4 plate appearances right-handed in game number 1, and now his third plate appearance, game number 2 for the Athenians today. Game number 3 of the tournament. Here's the pitch taken for a ball. So the young man on the mound having a little trouble finding the plate now. Short lead at first. Here's the pitch. That one's taken up. 3 balls, no strikes. And this is a take. It's going to be ball 4, so Will Kellerman right on down to first base. Pardon me, Carson Scott down to first base. That'll bring up Will Kellerman.
The right fielder, Will Kellerman.
Yeah, Will is 0 for 1. Had 1 hit. He had a double in game number 1 today. So he's 1 for 5 on the day. But been swinging a good bat overall.
Yes, he has.
Here's a pitch. This is taken down. All right, no take that time. So pardon me. We are, I think, on the take. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Well, he's been letting Will swing a little bit on these situations, but decided.
Kind of a late signal, too. I'm with you. Coach put that on at the last second.
Well, I don't know that it was a second thought. He was still doing a little coaching with the dugout over there.
Right.
That's a ball. So 2-0. There's ball 3, and this young man just cannot find a plate right now.
Coach is going to take advantage of that. He knows he's struggling.
Well, I will say this, and I've been saying it for a long, long time. A lot of coaches just don't seem to see this element. And Coach Froge has seen it for a long, long time. And that is, if you're willing to take what the other team is going to give you, it makes a game. There's a line drive into left field. That'll be a base hit. That was on the 3-1 pitch, and we'll have to hold at third base as left fielder. Nice job getting over there, getting that ball back in. But now the Athenians have got it set up with the bases loaded and nobody down. And that'll bring up Austin Warren now. And Austin on this game has 0 for 1. He had to sacrifice his second at bat today. He did get on a fielder's choice and come around and score in inning number 1. So Austin would like a chance, I think, to get a big hit here. He pops this one into right field. Now, that ball is going to be a little bit of trouble.
Yes,
everybody going. That's second baseman tonight. And We just made an error at
Yes,
third base.
Yes, we did.
I think. I'm not sure that.
It looked like
I think, yeah. I mean, you look at that, you say, can he make a play? And, the thing is, if the ball drops, you're still going to be able to jog in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to tag up on that.
Yeah, he was going back
Yeah.
and away. Yeah.
So another learning situation. So one down, bases still, a ground ball to third. He steps on the bag. He throws to first base, the double play, and this inning is over just like that. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the Athenians get a big 0 in the bottom of the fourth. So, that's a well-hit ball by Owen Bennett, really, that goes for nothing there. But Athenians leave them stranded out there, so we go to the fifth inning, still leading by a score of 6-1. The totals: 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 errors for the Hot Dogs. For your Athenians, 6 runs on 5 hits and 1 error.
Those are those things
So,
that we talked about could happen. You got a big inning going, bases loaded, 1 out.
But
they make a fine play.
But we still made a mental error.
Yes, we did.
If we tag like we're supposed to, there's no way that young man running that away could have made that play back to the plate. He was out quite a bit, as it were. And,
and he was running on a dead run.
Yeah, certainly away from home plate.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like I said, kind of a learning situation there. And I think we knew it after it happened. But anyway, we'll chalk it up, and hopefully, here's the thing. I played and coached on ball clubs where you have some people learn from that, and some people not paying attention.
Uh-huh.
You hope that everyone on the ball club is heads up and is watching these things. We have had 3 or 4 really important situations that we can learn from today.
And this, being young like this club is, they just have to learn those things.
Well, and this is a comment I made from I'll say a young man who knows the game very well, a young spectator, a young fan, and he made the comment, and I think fairly so, but he really didn't mean it in a negative way, but he just said, well, these kids really don't understand the game yet. They don't really quite know the game yet, And so they got to be put in these situations time and time again. Well, there's a swing and a miss by the number 9 hitter, Jade Ayers. He's the second baseman for the Hot Dogs. Count now evens at 1-1. Ayers is 0 for 1. He's one of the guys that popped out to the catcher. Well, there's a pitch that I don't know whether it was down or maybe a little bit outside. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Guess I don't have to know. I can just say ball.
Yep.
Here's a pitch fouled off, and the count evens 2-2. Kind of some clouds moving back in. It is forecast to rain again, I think, this evening.
Yes, it is.
Here's a pitch fouled off into the screen.
I saw something like it may come in around 9:30. Between 9 and 10, I think.
Well, if that happens, we're maybe in a little jeopardy situation with the championship game.
Yep.
Here's a pitch, breaking ball to center field, and Josh right there for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. Josh picking him up pretty good. We mentioned about playing down there in Tennessee, and especially in the third game. We're playing on a different diamond down there, and it was on low ground.
Down in the valley,
and
yes.
there was water and squish and everything else on that field. And I felt sorry for Josh running around out there because I know there were at least 3 balls that he catches probably easy and just couldn't really get there.
No.
Couldn't hardly stand up, Here's a ball, and there's ball 2. Jake's still struggling a little bit with his command in this ball game, but certainly hasn't gone to the point of being wild. Here's a pitch swung on and fouled.
Yeah, this is the leadoff
top.
hitter.
Yeah, Christian Lopez, and he's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out and flied out to center. Here's the pitch, swung on, ground ball in the 5.5 hole there, cleanly into left field. So a 1-out single here in the top of the 5th.
The center fielder, Casey Henry.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Casey Henry. He's 0 for 1. Drew a base on balls his last time. Here's the pitch. This is down. Henry checking his swinging time. Athenians looking for the kind ground ball. Here's one swung on. He couldn't hold up on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. That slow breaking ball is pretty tantalizing.
Yeah, it is.
There's a pitch. That one's down. 2-1. Well, the Athenians came close to turning a double play in this game, and I'd like to see him get another opportunity. Here's a swing and a miss. That ran on his hands. Owen Bennett fires on down to first base. Sammy puts the tag on, but the runner there waiting for him. 2-2 now. Breaking ball taken to left field. It's pretty deep, but we've got plenty of time to get under that. Cam brings it in for out number 2.
Yes, that was very high and hard, but like you say, plenty of time to go back and get under that.
Jose Valdez Sandoval.
Jose Sandoval to the plate.
He's grounded out to third twice.
All right, be ready down there, Cade.
Fitz better be ready.
Good breaking ball. Catches the outside part of the plate. Here's the pitch, and that one's down. Runner goes. Runner is in there. Nice pick out there. Cale had one on the backhand side. Picked it up on the short hop, keeping it from going to center field. I think we just started to move in center field there a little bit. I think he'd have been to third if he'd gotten by.
Yeah.
All right, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swung. No, he checks in time. Oh, it's called a strike. So we got a 1 ball, 2 strike count. That one's in the dirt. Good job. Now we got a chance. The ball, oh, man, in the dirt. So runner in there safely.
That was a good pickup there by Cade, too. It was in the dirt, bounced right into him.
Yeah, both ends making good pickups. And so runner at third now with 2 down. Swung on and fouled back. Jake Decker trying to retire the side here in the top of the 5th. Here's the 2-2, and that's way outside. And I'll tell you what, Mr. Bennett's got to work out. If you look at the old day, he's really got to work out. I mean, he's been in the dirt a lot. Yep. But when it's necessary, that's what you like to see, using that body to stop the ball. Here's a full count. Boy, that's ball 4. Yeah. We have a hungry hitter there.
Yes. His eyes got big on that, I'm sure.
Jose Sandoval. He's a junior. Here's a pitch. Swung on, ground to third, would you believe it? On to first base. Good shot over there by Cade. on to Sammy at first base, and that'll retire the Hot Dogs in the top of the fifth. And we have 1 run and 2 hits and 2 errors by the Hot Dogs. 6 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for your Athenians as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And they'll bring up Cam Saunders, Cale McCarty, Jake Decker.
6, 7, and 8, and we hope many more.
Many more, yeah. We could.
Well, Hernandez is on for. Let's see, what's this make? His 3rd or 4th inning of work?
Third inning.
Okay.
Yeah. He came in the 2nd.
Had a lot of control trouble last inning, but after the loading the bases, he got out.
Lead off for your Athenians. The left fielder, number 24, Cameron Saunders.
Saunders 1 for 2 in this ball game. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. This one's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a pitch inside. I tell you what, in a 1-1 ball game, I'd like to see that one hit him.
Yeah.
We'll let him go here. I said this ball club not as anxious to take a hit batter situation. Here's a pitch down, so the count is 3-1. Well, we had 2 different errors that I can remember of Athenian baseball where we had guys that had a skill of being able to get in the way of the ball. Here's the ball taken into right center field. That's going to go in the gap. Round first, trying to think about second base, but no chance. Ball just goes out there and stops today. It doesn't roll very far. That's a ball that I think ordinarily rolls right on into maybe close to the fence out there, but not today. But nonetheless, a fine base hit there. That brings up the shortstop, Cale McCarty. Cale 0 for 2. He's struck out both times this ball game. Kind of complimenting him in game 1 as he put it in play every time. Maybe I talked too soon, huh? Yeah. But anyway, Cale, he's up here in a situation where he just showed bunt. Now, let's see if we keep it on. He's squaring. He's taking. Okay. Well, you know what? You normally probably in the bottom of the 5th, leading 6-1 wouldn't be bunting. But you got a young player here. Yeah. And then one of the things that makes guys watch the ball is making them square around the bunt.
Yes.
Boy, I tell you, is the wind switching, Mike?
Yes.
It's right in our face, and I mean, it's really blowing.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we've got a change in the atmosphere. Here's a pitch, and he has to bail out on that one. That was up about to get stuck in his ear. We have got a sudden change in the weather here. Here's a pitch. He bunts it out in front of home plate. Catcher on to first base to get the out, but give Cale a sacrifice bunt there. Well, I'm showing 63 degrees, but I'll tell you, the wind chill's gone up. And the wind...
Yes, it has made a complete turnaround.
It's not our stats are not up to date here on my phone yet, so we'll give them a little bit and see what it says here, because that wind is definitely, it looks like to me, almost out of the northeast, don't you think, Mike?
Yeah.
Here's a pitch.
It, yeah.
That one's taken a little bit up. Jake Decker, your batter. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 down with a runner at second base. Bottom half of inning number 5 as the Athenians lead it 6-1. Here's a pitch inside, and that's another one we could have gotten hit with.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, I saw years where we just wouldn't let that kind of a pitch pass.
No.
2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded to third, but that'll be outside the bag. Nice effort by the third baseman to try to field that ball, but I think it was in fair ground the first bounce or two, but clearly outside the line down there. Let's see, we've got conference here with the second baseman and pitcher. I don't know whether it's something to hold the runner on or what that could be about. But anyway, we're ready to play ball now with a 2-1 count. Okay, that's what it was. We want to have a little look at the runner as the pitcher turns and checks with the second baseman. Nothing going there. Now the 2-1 to the plate, and that one's taken up and in. So Jake Decker ahead on the count. 3 balls, 1 strike. Pitch swung on and missed. So we got a full count, 3-2 on Decker. Cade Fitzwater on deck. Here's a pitch. Swung on, line drive over the second baseman's head. Rounding third, but not able to score is Cam. Saunders did the right thing on that. I picked him up right away, and you know, his instincts, when the ball's hit, you jump. And he did take a step or two, but immediately froze it up and took a step or two back toward the bag. But that's just part of baseball there. That's a play you just couldn't score on because if he made the wrong read and took off, I mean, he made the right read. That's a line drive. I got to see it get through the infield. Yep. So Cade Fitzwater comes to the plate with runners at first and third and 1 down. Here's the pitch, and it's up. Ball 1. Well, that breeze backed off a little bit, Mike. It's still pretty stout. Well, I said it too soon. Here it comes again.
Yeah.
Here's a throw to first base. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. He bunts foul down the first base line. Cade's been on base and scored with a base on balls. Grounded out just short his last time. Coach Frode's running through the signals over here. I don't know. Now Decker had his back to him, so Decker didn't see anything, but I guess everything's been communicated now. Here's the pitch. Squares the bunt. This one's fair. Past the pitcher. It's going to be close. He's out.
Yep.
Good job by the pitcher Hernandez, who stayed on the play. Got over there and made the play to get Cade out, but he advances the runner on, and that
the center fielder, Josh Blackburn,
scores Saunders on the play with run number 7. Turns over to the top of the batting order. Josh Blackburn. Here's a breaking ball, up and in. Seven to 1, your score. Athenians in the lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's a pitch down and in. Here's a ball, grounded foul outside of third. I don't think we actually mentioned this, Mike. Actually, the Frankfort Hot Dogs are 4-2 overall, but 2-0 in the conference.
Right.
We did mention that. But it looks like they are in jeopardy of leaving today 4-4.
Yeah, it does.
Here's the pitch, and that was way high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Carson Scott on deck. There's a strike. So it's full count. Pitch. Swung on. Fly ball, center field. Center fielder camps under, has it, inning over. But in the inning, the Athenians do come up with 1 run. I believe they had 1 hit. Two hits, yep. And so at the end of 5 full, they do lead it by a score of 7-1.
You know, Dan, we were talking about kids not taking pitches, not getting. They want to bail out, not get hit by that pitch. You know, you and I can talk about some teams way back and things that have happened. You'll probably remember this, but we had a pretty good team in 08.
Mm-hmm.
And
they were called state champions when it was all over.
Yes, they were. And we had a couple of guys on there. I think they had a competition that
year.
Yes. Blake Harris and Lenny. Brett Lynn.
Yes.
They had a competition.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. If you think about it, I maybe need to bring a record book out sometime and look at some of those things because it's amazing how many times they got on base. I won't call it the easy way, but the free base there by just it's kind of an art. I mean, they necessarily weren't sticking their neck out on a high fastball or something, but they could pick up the breaking ball, especially, and if it hangs inside, they're going to stay inside, and take a base. So,
Coach Froese didn't have to give that move up on the plate to those two.
No.
They got in the box.
No.
They were already up.
Matter of fact, there were a few times umpires backed them off.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Top of the 6th. First pitch by Decker is high.
We got Espinoza.
Jack
Espinoza.
Yeah. 0 for 2. Here's the pitch swung on. This ball's hit well to right field. Good break on the ball, and it's in the gloves. So nice job out there by Will Kellerman. My goodness, he had the glove on the right hand that time, too. Yeah. Literally on the right hand. It was to the right center field area, and really Will got a great break on the ball and kept on going. I don't think that ball had any slice back into him. Here's a long drive to left field and over his cam, and he's got it. And you know what? The wind turning probably knocked that ball down a little bit. Wind state had been like it had been earlier. That ball had a chance, I think, to at least get against the fence. Yes, so 2 quick outs there, and Coach Dudley coming down and having a little talk here to his pitcher, Hernandez. Hernandez. Let's see what he's done here, Mike. I don't remember. He's 0 for 2 on the day.
Had a fielder's choice and a 1-3.
Here's the first pitch for a ball. So 2 quick outs, but both balls well struck. Two of the better swings by the Hot Dogs. Here's a pitch there for a strike. Count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. Coach may have just told him, hey, we made 2 outs and 2 pitches. Why don't you go in there and look at one?
I think that was the message. Yeah.
Here's a swing and a miss. So Jake ahead on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a breaker lined to left field, but that's way foul. Goes into the left field corner. Here's a sidearm delivery that is way outside. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Top of the 6th, Athenians lead 7-1. Here's one kind of spiked into the ground. So 3-2 now. Here's a pitch fouled back to the screen. Well, it's not been the most beautiful day for baseball, Mike, but it's really good. Kids get the games in and get a lot of opportunity to oh, my, there has – I don't know what he was looking for. That one was right down the middle on the fastball for strike 3. So in the inning for the Hot Dogs, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on, and we go to the bottom half of the 6th. Hey, Mike, I'm going to be a chicken here. I got another jacket back here.
Okay.
I'm just going to put it on because this wind in my face, I'm
Yeah,
getting.
It has turned right at us. You're right. So going into the bottom of the sixth, we'll be close to the top of the order. We'll have Carson Scott, Will Kellerman, and Austin Warren coming to the plate. And maybe we can get 3 or 4 more here. Hernandez comes back. He's still on the mound. No changes in the game right now.
Okay, I may knock down a little of that wind this time with an extra jacket.
That's a big change of all of a sudden. All of a sudden you look up and it's right at you.
I want to tell you.
We haven't had that all day.
Yeah, it's blowing. It's been blowing this strong all day, but been blowing away and not really bothering us much.
No.
Leading off for your Athenians, the second baseman, number 5, Carson Scott.
I don't think my weather report is right here on direction, or they've only got it 7 miles an hour, and I think it's more than that.
No.
So we won't report that. Here's a pitch in there, strike to Carson Scott. Let's see what's he done today. He
walked
is
twice.
Yeah,
And got a hit.
One for one, and he's got the hit and scored a run. So good ball game here for Carson. That pitch is a ball. We count as 1-1, and Sandoval. I tell you, we say this is inning number 4 for Sandoval or Hernandez. Pardon me.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Here's a ball fouled off into the screen. That real good screen. Remember when we had the wire, Mike?
I can remember that.
A lot more danger for the fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of the few ballparks around to have this situation with the screen, and Athenians very lucky. In fact, I won't mention, but we had an old Athenian baseball player mention to me. He turned to me as I was leaving for game 1. He says, here's that ground ball through the left side. So Carson Scott 2 for 2 in this ball game, and keeping it going here. So he said, how would we have liked to have had something like this to play on? Well, we were still without a grass infield, and we were without batting cages, pitching machines, no helmets, wooden bats. It was a different game, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the pitch up as Will steps in. Will is 1 for 2 on the day. I should say on the game, not for the day. He's actually 2 for 6 on the day. Two balls, no strikes. Athenians batting here in the bottom of the 6th. We hope for the last time in this ball game.
Yeah, we got a good start.
Here's a pitch up. 3-0 now. Pitch is there for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, runner goes. Here's the throw. It's a good throw, and he's in there. Just beat the throw, but there was no play anyway because it was ball 4. So runners at first and second with nobody out, and here comes Coach Dudley and the whole infield. And that's going to be it.
Number 14.
Okay, yeah, we got a 14, Chavez. And let's see if we can find a last name for Mr. Chavez. Gabe Chavez, and he is only a freshman. He's got a pretty good arm. He brings it in there with pretty decent velocity.
Pitching for Frankfort, number 14, Gabe Chavez.
Mark Maxwell signals 2 more pitches for Gabe Chavez. We'll have Austin Warren coming to the plate with runners on first and second and nobody down. Guess we could say Athenians played 4 more here and call it a game.
That would be okay with me. I would be okay with Franklin Central and
I would think so, yeah.
They'd probably like to get their game
going.
Yeah,
they've got a ways. Well, CC doesn't have too far to go, but Franklin Central is kind of on the other side of, like, southeast
of Indy,
in Indy there. All right, Austin stepping in the batter's box. Again, Austin in the DH position today. Here's the fastball up and away, and this young kid throws the ball pretty hard for only a freshman. Pitch grounded up the middle. That's a perfect double play situation.
Yeah.
They get 1, and they get 2. So Warren grounds it. Hey, we're getting this to be a contagious situation here.
The catcher, Owen Bennett.
All right, Owen Bennett comes to the plate. Runner on third, now 2 down. Chavez to the plate. That one's too low. Here's a ball up the middle. Second baseman over. He has it on to first base, and that'll be out number 3. So once again, the Athenians fail to put anything up, and we'll go to inning number 7. Your Athenians lead it by a score of 7-1. It's 1 run on 2 hits and 2 errors for Frankfort. For your Athenians, they have 7 runs on 8 hits and 1 error. And Jake Decker back out to the mound to try to complete this ball game.
And Jake will face number 789. Omar Alanis, Roger Angeles, and Jade Ayers. Got a lot of people looking around, checking the sky, see what's going on.
Yeah. Last reading I got on temperature was still 63 degrees. It really doesn't feel that, but it's wind chill we're feeling. I know that, but I still wonder if that's an accurate report. But in on where it says NOW, it says 63. So
Yeah. Huh.
we're in the field, like it's off also because it says 61.
Right.
So
That
we're
part,
a little behind
that
on that.
part has to be wrong.
Catcher number 3, Omar.
Well, we've noticed most of the fans have grabbed something else to cover up with,
Yes,
and
yes.
yeah. All right, inning number 3.
Omar.
Yeah, he's 1 for 2 on the day. He had a
He got
double
the-
his last at bat. Yeah.
I believe he
Here's
got
a ground ball to
first
third.
inning.
That's off the bag. Good job fielding.
Gotta get it. No.
Cade's still making a play, but can't get it there in time. Well, that was one of those. I'll tell you what, I wish the ball hadn't hit the bag because Cade really did a nice job
I would've liked to
positioning
see him
himself.
throw, yeah.
He would have been able to field that ball, and I believe because runners are really not that fast,
Yeah.
I think he had an out. But, boy, the ball went up in the air 10 feet after it hit the bag, so no chance.
Yeah.
Okay, Atlantis is 0 for 1
0 for
with a
1.
base on balls and scored a run, but
Scored their only run, yes.
he swings and misses, and that ball was a good breaker. There's the 0-1, and again he swings and misses, so Jake ahead on the count here. Let's see if he makes a good pitcher's pitch. This one's down and away. Batter lays off. The ball was close. Good pitcher's pitch there, but now we need to get a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here. Top of the 7th. It's a pitch. This is swung on. That's a little looper into right field. Nobody can get there, and so that's going to drop for a base hit. Nothing anybody can do on that one. Good effort there as Will came in as best he could, and Carson did a good job getting close, but that was just one that's in no man's land. And so a little bit of a threat here by the Hot Dogs as they put on the first 2 runners here in the top of the 7th.
Jade Ayers, number 9 hole.
Yeah,
He has 0 for 2 tonight.
Okay, a little conference on the mound here. I think you might want to talk to your infield just as much as your pitcher in this situation here. Make sure they understand what we're doing here because you're going to, I think, take the sure out. You know, if there is such an animal, you know.
Sometimes we're not sure, are we? Everybody goes back.
Well, this is a time, for example, if you get a ground ball to third, you might just as soon step on third base as to go for the double play. I mean, you know, it's going to be ball to his left. He wants to go ahead, obviously, and take it to second base.
Yeah.
But depending on what kind of ball is going down there, you know, he's not necessarily going to go for 2.
Yeah.
Certainly the same thing would be true for first base. You've got a situation where he can step on the bag, we'll take it. Here's a bunt. Sammy leaves the bag. We're in trouble. We're in trouble.
Yep.
We're in trouble. Nobody can get there. Young man can run. I'll say that. He's batting number 9, but he lays it down. And all of a sudden, we've got a threat that could pose kind of an interesting situation with a gapper here. We could all of a sudden find ourselves in a little bit of a ball game. All right, turns to the top of the order in Lopez, and he is he's 1 for 3 on the game. Here's a check swing right out to Kale. He catches the ball in the air. Now, there, you know, I remember one time as Athenians shortstop, I let that ball drop. And there's a double play right there in front of you.
Exactly.
Not quite high enough to be called an infield fly.
No.
So, all right, here we go. Casey Henry at the plate. The center fielder, good stop that time by Bennett. Well, Jake, he just needs to keep throwing strikes here and don't give them anything easy. Make them earn anything they would get. Hopefully, he can get a ball hit at somebody again. Here's a pitch that's outside, so 2 balls, no strikes. That'll be inside. No, inside corner. A little slow coming up on that one was Mark Maxwell, but I am certainly glad to see him bring that right hand up. 2 balls, 1 strike. See, the board even put up ball 3, by the way. However, the proper count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sacked, packed with hot dogs. 1 out. The 2-2. Nope, that's in the dirt, down and away. That's been Jake's favorite miss the whole ball game. Needs a strike in the worst way right here. Casey Henry waits. Swings, line drive, shortstop. Good pick. He goes to the bag himself. And a little late, and that'll be run number 2 for the Hot Dogs, but more importantly, out number 2 for the Athenians here. You know what? He could have thrown that ball to Carson Scott. I'm not really going to be critical of him. Normally, he would have thrown that ball, but he was just making sure of one. I think, I imagine that's one of the things the coach said when he was out there, make sure of one. So we've got a 7-2 ball game, but 2 outs with runners on first and third. And Jose Sandoval, the starting pitcher in today's game, comes to the plate. Here's the pitch, and that ball is right there for a strike. Good fastball. That was as much velocity as Jake is showing the whole game right there. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Hit hard and into left field for a base hit. So the Hot Dogs played another one. They're not wanting to give up easily here. So a 7-3 ball game. And that is hit number 5 for the Hot Dogs. Check that. Hit number 6 for the Hot Dogs. So
the right fielder, Jack Espinoza.
That'll bring up Espinoza. Jack on the day is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. This ball is to the center field right there, and ending the ball game is Josh Blackburn. But I tell you what, the Hot Dogs started swinging the bat there, Mike.
Yes, they did.
That's the ball game. Your final score.
Well, final score is 7-3 here. Totals, your Athenians, 7 runs on 8 hits, and they committed 1 error. The Hot Dogs, 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Again, Athenians on the day, 1 win, 1 loss, and that makes them for the season 6-3, playing again Tuesday against the Western Boone Stars right here at the Athenian Field. That'll be a 6 o'clock ball game and a webcast ball game. So Athenians ending on a good note today. Mike, what do you think?
Well, it was a good win. They continued hitting the ball. They got another 8 hits tonight. Everything was going well. They got 4 of their 6 hits in the last inning.
Yeah.
The Hot Dogs did.
Yeah.
So we knocked down the errors. So it was a good finish to a long day.
Well, these two conference teams get a good chance to look at one another before they play the games that really count.
Exactly.
And so we'll see how that goes. But in any case, you're right about the Athenians. They kept swinging the bats. We actually got taken out of 2 rallies by hitting it a double plays there, which doesn't happen all that often. But they were balls that were hit fairly hard and they hit at people and turns into double plays.
Right,
so anyway, the Athenians win the consolation game here against the Frankfort Hot Dogs 7-3, and we're awaiting the championship game between the Franklin Central Flashes and the Central Catholic Knights. So with that said, we're going to bid everybody adieu and hope that you can make it to the ballpark next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. If not, just check into your YouTube and the Crawfordsville High School webcast or website, and you'll get a webcast of Crawfordsville baseball. So, again, thanks to Mike Schubert for helping out here and keeping me honest, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. All right, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you keeping